A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a landmark decision that has stirred significant debate across the nation, the Supreme Court has ruled in favor of the Trump administration, permitting the cancellation of hundreds of health research grants that focus on diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI, as well as gender identity. The justices granted an emergency appeal from President Trump's legal team, effectively overturning a previous ruling by a Boston judge that had blocked the cancellation of approximately $783 million in research funding. The court's decision, which was decided by a narrow 5-4 margin, has reignited discussions about the role of diversity and inclusion in federal funding and the direction of health research in the United States. Chief Justice John G. Roberts Jr. sided with the court's 3 liberal justices in dissent, arguing that the lower court judge had not exceeded his authority in blocking the cancellations. This dissent highlights the ongoing division within the Supreme Court regarding the balance of power between federal agencies and the judiciary. The conservative majority of the court has consistently supported the Trump administration in related disputes concerning federal spending and staffing decisions. The crux of the case revolves around an executive order issued by President Trump shortly after taking office, which aimed to eliminate what he described as radical and wasteful government DEI programs. Following this order, the acting director of the National Institutes of Health, NIH, announced a shift in funding priorities, stating that the agency would no longer finance research deemed low value or off mission, specifically targeting studies that centered on DEI and gender identity. As a result, more than 1,700 grants were abruptly terminated, leading to widespread concern among researchers and public health advocates. The affected grants included studies on critical health issues, such as a project investigating the stigma surrounding HIV within the Buddhist community in Thailand, and research into structural racism affecting English and Spanish-speaking populations. The cancellation of these grants has prompted a strong backlash from state officials, particularly from California Attorney General Rob Bonta and his colleagues from 15 other Democrat-led states. They have filed lawsuits against the Trump administration, arguing that the termination of these grants represents an unprecedented disruption to ongoing research that is vital for public health. The attorneys general contend that the NIH decision to cut funding has jeopardized significant projects aimed at understanding and addressing major health concerns, including heart disease, Alzheimer's disease, and substance abuse. Notably, the NIH's actions have led to the cancellation of a University of California study focused on the impact of inflammation and physical activity on Alzheimer's disease in Black women, a demographic that faces higher risks for the disease. Additionally, a study from the University of Hawaii aimed at uncovering genetic risk factors for colorectal cancer among Native Hawaiians was also affected, further emphasizing the real-world implications of these funding cuts. In a previous ruling, U.S. District Judge William G. Young, a Reagan appointee, sided with the Democratic states, stating that the abrupt cessation of grants violated federal procedural law due to its arbitrary nature and lack of clear justification. He criticized the Trump administration's approach to DEI, calling it an undefined enemy and expressing frustration over the lack of clarity in the administration's directives. However, after the First Circuit Court declined to lift the judge's order, Trump's Solicitor General D. John Sauer escalated the matter to the Supreme Court, which had previously set aside rulings that favored the administration in April. The recent Supreme Court decision has sparked a heated debate among lawmakers, researchers, and public health advocates about the future of health research funding and the potential consequences of prioritizing certain types of studies over others. Critics argue that the administration's actions undermine critical research that benefits marginalized communities, while supporters claim that the focus should be on research that has a direct impact on public health outcomes. As this contentious issue unfolds, it is clear that the implications of the Supreme Court's ruling will resonate throughout the research community and beyond, shaping the landscape of health funding for years to come. The decision has not only legal ramifications, but also ethical considerations regarding the prioritization of research topics and the role of government in influencing scientific inquiry. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.